Guess what's in the garage today? A 1954 MGTF. Or most of one anyway. This is my 1954 MGTF. It's a restoration project I've been working on for at least 2 wives now. And I was looking on the internet and I noticed there wasn't anything, or at least I couldn't find anything, about how to lubricate an MGTF. Now again, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a mechanic, I just happen to like working on British cars. So I thought, let's do a video on how to lubricate this. With the car disassembled, we should be able to get pretty good shots of where you have to add some oil, where you have to add some grease, how to check the transmission. So let's get started. I think we'll start with the differential. Now, as you can see right here, the car being disassembled, we can zoom right in here and get a nice shot of the filler plug. Oh, I'll try it from over here. It's right here, and it's a 7/8 nut. It's already been loosened. If I can take that off, you might be able to see that there's grease in there. Or not. Okay, with the help of a flashlight, you can see there's grease in there, and it's just a little bit below the threads. Well, how much is that? Well, that's the whole point of doing the lubrication. We want to know where to put it, how much to put, and what kind. The differential in a TF holds 2 1/4 pints, or 1.3 liters. As we look at our chart here, we can see here is the filler plug, and we can go up to the little thing here, and every 6,000 miles, we want to make sure we have plenty of grease in the differential. What kind of grease? We'll come over here to the chart. And number B, gearbox, steering box, and rear axle, SAE 90 by manufacturer, Mobil, Exxon, etc. But they're all 90 weight. So finishing the differential, we'll put the nut back on. And again, with the nut in place, with our 7/8 wrench, we'll just snug it up. It doesn't have to be really tight. If it leaks, snug it up some more. Next, let's look at the transmission. On top of the, once removing the carpeting, of course, on top of the transmission, here is a little brass nut. You take that off. And remove the little door, which exposes, oh right, there's the transmission. We haven't installed this yet. This will be much easier. Now on the transmission, we're blessed with a dipstick. We'll pull the dipstick up, wipe it off, put it back in there, and see if we can see that we are low. Okay, we have to put a little bit in there to get to the normal range. Let's put that drop back in. This is our filler plug right here. And for that, I'm going to use, where are we here? A 1/2 inch Whitworth. There we go. Take that off. And we need to put in, I'll start with like a pint. Here's our 90 weight gear lube, and we're just going to start squirting it in there, a little bit at a time. Okay. Then we'll check our dipstick again. See how that worked out. Oh, we're just about normal. I don't know if you can see that. We're just about normal. So we're going to call that done. Again, that is, according to our book, 90 weight hyperloid gear grease, gear oil. Depending on your reference, what you call it, snug. I never make those tight. Here, I'll wipe this off because it's my nice brand new transmission. How about the propeller shaft? We have a grease fitting on the back universal joint and a grease fitting on the front universal joint. While inside the car, we can see we have 2 fittings on the transmission which lubricate the gear shift lever. Now we know where to put it. Let's figure out what to put. Oh, where are we here? Gearbox, steering propeller shaft. It's a, no, not just a lithium grease, a super lithium grease. Okay, well, it just so happens I don't have the super. I just have the multi-purpose lithium grease. That's what we're going to use. As you can see, here's our Zerk fitting. I think that's what it's called. That's what I've always called them. Besides, I like using the word Zerk. Anyway, we'll put the little grease gun on here, and you just want to give it a couple pumps until you see grease coming out around the bearings in the U-joint. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but right in here, wait a minute, right in here, you can see that the grease squirted out. Watch. Oh, look at that. It's oozing like lava. Now, when it comes out, I'm going to make a suggestion. Get in there with a screwdriver or a rag and try to wipe that off. Because, you know, the drive shaft is spinning really fast, and that little teeny tiny bit of grease is going to fly everywhere. Let's do the back one. Well, I'm going to try it from this angle, see what happens. But as you can see, here's the fitting right here. We'll get our grease gun on the fitting. Click and squeeze until we see grease coming out. Oh, yep, there it is. Just like in the front. Okay, we're gonna get our grease gun off. Again, wipe off the extra grease and you're good to go. Again, while we're here, we have 2 fittings on the emergency brake cable. Now, my emergency brake, let's see here, is released at the moment. So let's get our grease gun on here and give our cables some love. Yeah, maybe I should go under the car and do this. And squeeze away, and there you can see the grease is coming out. See it? That's a full cable. And then you have one on the other side and do the same way. Okay, right here, as I mentioned on the transmission, on the linkage for our little shifter rule here, we have 2 more fittings. I don't know where the grease is going to come out, but let's pump away and see what happens. It's going in. And boy, I don't know where it's gonna come out. You know, that was a lot of grease to squirt in there. Give it one more, and I'm gonna call that good because I don't know where it's supposed to come out. We'll do a little research on that one. Here is, well, the grease is already coming out. Yeah, there we go. just feel under there and you'll see there's okay, that we're going to call done. When I assembled the front suspension, I've already greased these. We have one fitting on the top, and again, you put your grease in until you see it start to come out, then wipe it off. There's one on, if I can get down here. Oh, I'm not getting any younger, folks. Here's one on the bottom. Okay, and again, since I already greased those, we're not going to do them again. And for those of you who want to keep your scorecards up to date, there's also a Zerk fitting or grease fitting on the front of the steering rack and pinion. You want to make sure to get that one. And of course, we have to mention the engine oil. I think we have, most of us will have this one figured out. We'll check our dipstick here. And let's see if we can see on there. We're just covering the F in full. Okay. Now, as you can see, this oil is brand new. I don't even think that this engine has been turned over with the starter. It's brand new engine. Yes, I built it myself. I know I should have made a video. But anyway, when I'm ready to turn the engine over and circulate that oil, I'll make sure it's full before starting the car. I can't do that now because, of course, the oil pressure gauge, where is it? It's not there. As a matter of fact, wiring the dashboard will be a whole nother video. You know what that is, don't you? That is the shock absorber. You know what goes in here, don't you? Me either. Let's go look at the chart. Okay, where on here does it say shock absorber? Nowhere. But it does at the bottom here say utility lubricant, SU carburetor, dash pot, oil can, points, etc., 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 and then it must go off to say shock absorbers. So it's a 20 weight oil. Oh, a 2030. Let's go with a 20 weight. I just happen to have some of that. As you can see, there is the Armstrong shock absorber. I think it's an Armstrong anyway. And I'm going to sit on my flimsy bumper and use my 5/16 Whitworth to take the top off. Now, I have heard that these shock absorbers are made to leak. It keeps them lubricated. There is no, from what I understand, I don't know if this is right or not, there's no rubber seal on these shafts. It's just packing, wadding, if you will. So it keeps the shafts lubricated, so the shock will go up and down when my rotundness bounces on the bumper. Okay? The book said 20 weight Castrol, or 20 weight oil. And I just happen to have my little Castrol oil can filled with 20 weight that I'm going to squirt in here, maybe, and there it goes. And we'll squirt it in there until it's full. Now, you know what? I filled these up once. Guess what happened to the oil? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it leaked out. So we fill this up with our 20 weight oil, and there you go. That's full. Okay? We'll put the plug back with our 5/16 Whitworth snug and wait for the oil to leak out the shafts. Here is the rear shock absorber. Here is our 5/16 Whitworth nut that I've already loosened. So, just like on the front, take that off, Get your 20 weight oil, and guess who already filled these? That would be me. Fill them up with your 20 weight oil, replace the cap, and call it good. Okay, so all 4 shock absorbers. I don't remember it precisely, but I think my book says every 3,000 miles, which wouldn't surprise me. And again, snug up the filling nut. Okay, shock absorbers are done. This is my favorite part, the dash pots on the carburetors. Now, I've heard so many different people say so many different things about what to put in these little dash pots. I've heard WD-40, I've heard Marvel Mystery Oil, I've heard a 50 weight, 20-50, etc., etc., etc. In my MGBs, I run a straight 30 weight in the dash pots. On the TF chart, it says to run 20 weight oil. And these are kind of tight, so I'm using my 7/16 Whitworth to loosen them ever so gently. Now as we loosen these up, there's nothing in there. These are dry. I did not lubricate these yet because we're so far away from starting this engine. As I look down here, I can see with my piston lifting pin that I can move the pistons up and down so they're moving freely. And what the oil does is, I guess it keeps the piston from snapping up and flooding the engine. In the MGBs, like I said, I used the 30 weight because the little thicker oil gave me a little smoother acceleration. And I'll fill these until it's just above the piston. Right about there. Oh, look what I did. I have a drop of oil running down my brand new dash pot. There we go. So there you go. That is the oil for the dash pots. And then we'll do the other one. One other note, in the little drive for the tachometer, there's an oil hole that enjoys a couple of drops of oil every now and then. Doesn't take much. Okay? And another thing you want to keep an eye on in the distributor, and pull off the rotor, and you want to get a little dab of grease on the cam that the points open and close on. Okay? That just about lubes everything up. I thought I should mention in one closing note here, on the clutch linkage that you can see way back in there, okay, there are no grease fittings. However, I've seen a lot of the little levers and clevis pins wear and just give you a sloppy clutch pedal. So make it a note to get under there and properly grease all the little clevis pins in that linkage, and it'll give you a nice smooth clutch, and the little brass and metal parts won't wear as quickly. So we have our MGTF nicely lubricated. I hope I was helpful. If not, maybe a little entertaining. And yes, I have a hat on now because I'm having a bad hair day. As a matter of fact, after sweeping the floor in the bathroom today, I think I'm heading for a no hair day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Robert's British Cars and Stuff. If you did, please subscribe. If there's anything you want me to talk about or look at or fumble through, send me an email. Okay? Thank you and have a great day.